Robin Murdoch live in Birmingham, where voters overwhelmingly said no to opening up a pot shop here. It is one of 5 communities that voted down marijuana proposals yesterday. We've got the very latest results for you in my live reports.
A local teacher leaves quite a legacy after being killed along 94.
Working with kids over the summer was his passion with us and everything. He truly enjoyed it.
More on how Connor McMahon is being remembered and what's happening to the person accused of causing his death.
And we have a warning this morning for senior citizens and people with disabilities. There is a new scam that's trying to get personal information and money, how you can protect yourself or a loved one.
Working for you. Fox 2 News live at 11 starts now.
Just so wrong when people prey on anyone, but the elderly, the disabled, we're going to get to that.
And this is that time of year, too.
But first, good morning, and thanks for being with us on this Wednesday. I'm Lange.
And I'm Brandon Hudson. Marijuana may be one of the fastest growing industries in America, but voters in several Michigan communities said, not in my backyard.
Fox 2's Robin Murdoch joining us live now from Birmingham. That's just one of 5 cities where they rejected the pot proposals. Hi, Robin.
Good morning, Amy and Brandon. Yeah, it was a resounding no here in Birmingham yesterday. 74% of the people who went to the polls voted against this marijuana measure that was on the ballot. And as you mentioned, they were among a handful of communities that were faced with cannabis questions yesterday.
I have friends who use it, but they use it for medical purposes only. And other people just use it to abuse it. Well, if they need it that badly, they can go to the other store. They can go to the other counties.
The results of referendums on reefer clearly have many communities divided. In fact, 5 communities in our viewing area voted on various marijuana measures on Tuesday, and all 5 turned them down. In some cities, the margins just massive.
It would really be silly not to have it at this point. I mean, they're all around us anyway. I mean, you know, half mile down the road in Royal Oak, they've got them anyway, so at this point, I don't think it's a big deal.
Each of the pot proposals were a little different. In Birmingham, 74% of voters said no to allowing a medical and recreational facility in that area. 61% of those voting in Kego Harbor gave it a thumbs down. In Rochester, residents responded with a resounding 89% against 3 pot shops in town. 78% of voters in Grosse Pointe Park said no to measures on their ballot, and the same story in St. Clair County, where Yale voters turned it down by 56%.
There's definitely too many. There's not too far from Birmingham that we can go and purchase some, you know. I believe that some communities need to, you know, stay to the values and to the family values that we have. That's what I believe.
Since marijuana first became legal in Michigan in 2018, many municipalities have opted out of allowing dispensaries, while others chose to cash in on the cannabis. The budding business is expected to bring in some $3 billion in sales in 2023. Cities with pot shops will get a cut of that revenue. Last year, it amounted to about $60 million.
Why you need it here? I don't know. Maybe so you don't have to drive. Maybe it'll cut down on traffic, because I'm going to walk to get mine.
So that $60 million that was distributed due to those marijuana sales in 2022 ended up going to 224 different municipalities as well as counties here in Michigan, and that equals close to $52,000 for each facility located in those areas. We are live in Birmingham. I'm Robin Murdoch for Fox 2 News.
Well, Robin, we have to wonder if they will try again in those communities in the future.
Yeah, that is something that obviously we will be keeping a very close eye on, because as you know, sometimes when things do not succeed the first time, they may succeed the second or third time around. So certainly this will likely be an issue, if not popping up in those 5 communities, likely other communities around Michigan in the coming elections. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Robin Murdoch. As always, we appreciate you.
Well, Amy, voters in many cities across Metro Detroit also elected new leaders.
Yeah, in Warren, for example, there will be a new mayor, and she will serve the city. For the first time in more than 15 years, someone other than Jim Fouts. Democratic State Representative Lori Stone defeated George Demas. Stone will become the city's first female mayor and replace current mayor Jim Fouts. Fouts was first elected back in 2007 and could not seek another term because of voter-approved term limits.
In Westland, Representative Kevin Coleman won the mayor's race by nearly 20 percentage points. He defeated interim mayor Michael Londo, who replaced former longtime mayor Bill Wild in January. Coleman and Lori Stone, they're both Democrats serving in Lansing, and their win means that Democrats will temporarily lose control of the state House of Representatives. It will now be up to Governor Gretchen Whitmer to call for special elections to fill those seats. And in Inkster, embattled incumbent Mayor Patrick Wimberly has lost a bid for re-election. Challenger Byron Nolan defeated Wimberly. The loss follows Wimberly's indictment last month in a pay-to-play scheme. Prosecutors allege that he accepted more than $50,000 in bribes in connection with the sale of city land. Wimberly denies any wrongdoing.
And turning to some of the more prominent races across the country, it was a huge night for Democrats. In Ohio, voters decided to enshrine access to abortions into the state's constitution and move to legalize recreational marijuana. In Virginia, not only did the Dems keep control of the state Senate, they flipped the state House. And in Kentucky, incumbent Governor Andy Beshear held off a strong GOP challenger. There was one important win for Republicans in Mississippi. Governor Tate Reeves held his seat, fending off a Democrat who had pulled unusually high in this deep red state. And tonight, 5 of the candidates vying for the Republican presidential nomination will meet on the debate stage in Miami. This is the 3rd debate so far. The candidates who met the fundraising and polling requirements are Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Senator Tim Scott. Former President Donald Trump is once again not participating. He will be holding a rally just about 10 miles away instead. Today's debate is on NBC. It begins at 8 p.m.
Well, charges are filed in the shooting death of a 16-year-old Pontiac girl who simply was in the wrong place at the wrong time. A bullet struck Desiree Childs as she walked home last week in the area of Menominee and Johnson. Prosecutors are charged 32-year-old Kanique Lawrence with open murder. A second suspect, 27-year-old Jamil Tanzil, faces federal weapons charges. Tanzil admits that he was in the area at the time of the shooting, but he insists that he had nothing to do with Desiree's death.
Potentially, there could be more people involved than 2 or 3. So, we're looking into all of those circumstances. That's where we're asking for the public's help.
Anyone with information on this case is asked to call the Oakland County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. You will remain anonymous.
And the driver accused of hitting and killing a Fraser High School teacher has reached a plea agreement with prosecutors. The fatal crash happened last June in Harper Woods. Fox 2's Dave Spencer has more on the deal and what is still being done to honor the victim.
Connor McMahon had a way of putting others first. As a teacher at Fraser High and a summer camp counselor through the Roseville Recreation Center.
Working with kids over the summer was his passion with us and everything. He truly enjoyed it.
Back in July, Connor was killed along I-94 and Vernier. As he attempted to change a tire, a car said to be driven by Brooklyn Denise Charles struck and killed him. Police say she then tried to run from the scene, and when they caught her, she allegedly bit an officer. According to the prosecutor's office, she was also under the influence. Originally, she faced 3 charges: operating a vehicle causing death while intoxicated, failing to stop at the scene of a fatal crash, and assaulting a police officer. On Tuesday, the prosecutor's office says Charles entered a no contest plea to operating intoxicated and causing death. The other 2 charges were dismissed. She now faces a sentence of 5 to 15 years in prison.
Knowing the number of lives that Connor impacted in such a positive way, and for that to be snuffed out in an instant, and which is what it was, an instant, by, well, let's just say that it doesn't seem fair.
It became clear how many lives were impacted when they began fundraising campaigns for the Connor McMahon Scholarship Fund.
Get a scholarship if they can't afford our summer day camp program so they can attend in Connor's memory.
Efforts that include a t-shirt sale featuring the artwork of Connor's former student at Fraser High. The school and rec center have raised thousands in scholarship money and hope to raise more. Donations are still being accepted at the high school and the rec center in Roseville.
We felt that something had to be done to keep his memory alive because he was he was just a great guy, great person, comes from a great family, and it's the least we could do.
We're always here to support the family in any way and to help keep his memory strong here at the Rec Authority and here in Roseville and at Fraser High School in any way that we can help.
As for the person charged with Connor's death, she will be formally sentenced in January. Dave Spencer, Fox 2 News.
We're going to transition to some good news this morning. This is about the grounded freighter that we first told you about yesterday on Live at 11. A tugboat crew from Great Lakes Towing managed to refloat the lake freighter American Courage last night around 7. The 617-foot ship ran aground in the St. Clair River near Marine City Tuesday morning. The exact cause is still under investigation. We are told that the freighter is carrying 20,000 tons of stone. No injuries, no pollution were reported.